Hi friends, it's Julia. I'm here today to share what's left of my June 2014 Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit. That's right, I said June 2014. I put this kit together and then it sat on the shelf and it sat there, and so I decided to use it to put together Christmas albums and Christmas calendars this year. So I put together an entire album, 20 pages, 8.5 by 11, and then I did 2 calendars, 8 by 8 size, and I'll show you all those in my next video. But this is, I had two 6 by 6 paper pads in here, and I used them a little bit, not a whole heck of a bunch, but I did cut some stuff with them. So I still have some bits and pieces left in those two, and I'll put them back in my 6 by 6 stash. This is the only sheet of 12 by 12 paper that I have left, and I have it only because I originally had thrown this in to cut out letters for alphabets, and I never did because of the kit. And this is it for pattern paper that I have left, and you can see I have thrown in tons of scraps in here, and I really, comparatively speaking to where I started, I don't really have that much left, and most of this I'm tired of looking at it, so it's going into the trash. I might save a few of these bigger pieces, but that's it as far as pattern papers go. As far as embellishments go, I still have tons because I made this kit uber heavy with embellishments. These are bits of scrap that I cut apart. Those will probably go right into the trash. These are random tags that I had in here. They'll go back into my stash. These are page tabs that I cut out with a die. That will either go into my stash or into the trash. This is a package of butterflies. They're old SEI butterflies that I had left over that they'll go back into my stash. These are all images that I stamped out. They're arrows, you know, the pointy arrows. And I stamped them all with Close to My Heart inks and cut them out, fussy cut them, and I used them several times. I cut out bunches of page corners, and this is what I have left. Bunches of hearts, and this is what I have left. I cut out lots of doily and circle images out of the scrap papers that I threw into this kit, and this is what I have left. Some of them are not such great cuts because, you know, I was originally playing with it and it didn't cut all the way through the papers. Like you can see, that was cut with the scrap piece, as was that. That's one that I glued together. Those are 2 that the insides wouldn't punch out, so those will probably go into the trash. I'm not super sensitive about keeping a lot of the scraps from this kit. These are all images that I stamped out and then fussy cut, or are left over from pieces of paper. And you can see there's tons of those left over. I don't know if those will go into my stash, or they probably will, because I really liked having these little bits and sayings there to pull from. I had this chipboard pack that I threw in. It had everything but this yellow piece, and then another tag piece here. Those were the only things that weren't in there, and I used quite a few of those. And I had some chipboard flowers that I got a lot of those used as well. I used these cabochon embellishments from Stampin' Up, and I have the mint green and the brown ones left. I used some of the brads that I threw in. I had tons of brads stuck into here that were random, and I used all but the red, a large red glitter, a small red glitter, and then a bunch of the arrows. And then I also got some more used off of this piece from Close to My Heart. They're gold, copper, and silver stars, or stars. What do you call them? Brads. Thank you. Tell you what, my brain just is not working. These are the stamp sets that I pulled. I did not use this one. I think I used the others. Those are all the die cuts that I used. So I just had those 2 stamp sets that I pulled. I had these dies that I pulled from my dies that I wanted to get used. Those are words, I believe. That alpha set, and I didn't use it, and I know I used those. I used that. I used all of my dies. I made tons of owls, cut tons of doilies. And so I have that stuff to add back into my stash. I have a few flowers. I used tons of flowers in this. Couldn't get those big one used as much as I wanted to. As far as enamel pieces, this is what I have left. In this bowl I have, here are the little owls that I cut out. And I probably started off with 20 of these, and that's what I have left. That's the remainder of a paper bag. Lots of little random embellishments here that I stamped or that I cut out with my silhouette. I have lots left in here. Most of it will go back into my stash. Those are images that I stamped and little punch outs. Butterflies that I stamped and just never fussy cut them. That's one piece from the Tim Holtz grunge board that I had left over. As far as stickers and embellishments, punch outs,